Everything, all these things came out of nothing, from nothing, by nothing. Have you ever heard anybody speaking that? All these things were once non-existent, and it was brought into existence from nothing, by nothing. If you believe in that, that means you have a serious logic issue. You have a serious logic issue. If you want to believe that these things, all this, the whole of existence came out of nothing, by something, then we are in the same ground. I would like to start with the Kalam Cosmological argument. This is the argument devised by the Muslim theologians. They still accepted as a credible line of argument to prove the existence of God. One of the Christian scholars by the name of William Lane Craig actually wrote a book on this argument, and he titled the book as the Kalam Cosmological Argument. And how did the argument go? Like, very simple argument. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. Let me repeat it again. Very simple syllogism. Ini panggil kias. Two premise and a result and a conclusion. Everything that begins to exist must have a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. So what is the proof that everything that begins to exist has a cause? Now this is a self-evident statement. Why do I say that? Something that doesn't exist before, can it create itself? If you're not here, can you create yourself? If you are non-existent, how can you create yourself? How can you brought yourself out into existence? You are not there in the first place. So this is a self-evident fact. Something that begins to exist must have a cause. Or to you, this is also debatable. To me, this is it's a bulletproof, tight argument. It cannot be challenged. If this can be challenged, then I believe all other arguments, any other arguments can be challenged. This is the foundation. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe begins to exist. Do we have a proof of this? Do we have a proof that the universe began to exist? There are two contending ideas. I believe many of you have heard this many times. Some of you are already tired. You heard about the Big Bang theory, and we hear about the steady state theory. Of course, there are other contending theories. We call it the oscillating model. We call it the multiverses. We do not want to speak about these last two. Let's speak about just the Big Bang and steady state. These are the two contending ideas. I believe some of you have heard this name, the man by the name of Edwin Hubble. He's the man who was attributed the discovery of the Big Bang theory. Basically, the Big Bang theory says that the universe has a beginning. There's a big explosion happened before, and we reach to the stage we are in now. There's one primary nebula, highly dense particle, and this dense particle exploded and emerges the galaxies, the planets, the stars, and everything that exists in our universe. How did he discover this? He discovered this when he realized that the universe are actually expanding. Let me not explain how he discovered that. But his conclusion is that through his telescope, he saw that the universe are expanding. So if we regress through time, if things are expanding now, that means once it is, if we turn back time, it is contracting. Let's rewind the time. We'll come back to that primary single nebula, right? The question arises, where did this primary nebula come from? Is it nothing or is it something? If it's nothing, how can something come out of nothing? If it's something, where did this something came from? Now these are all difficult questions to answer. And the most scientific explanation to this is actually God. Okay? Some people may not accept this. But to me, as a Muslim, the most scientific explanation for this is actually God. But some people do not like this word. Say, it's unscientific for you to say God. Then what is the scientific explanation for this? Chance? Is the word chance even scientific? We will disprove that later. Randomness? Out of nothing? From nothing? That's scientific? Are you serious? To me, the word God is the most scientific explanation for the emergence of this something out of nothing. So how can you say it's scientific? You cannot perceive God. How many things that we cannot perceive but we call it a scientific fact? Like gravity, for example. So in that sense, we can say God is the most scientific fact for the existence of the universe. Now, there's one scientist which disagree with this and say, no. The universe has always been like this. It's called a steady state. It has no beginning and it will not perish. He calls it the steady state theory. His name is Fred Hoyle. But later, he somehow raised the white flag. When later scientists discovered a supporting fact to this expansion of universe theory or expanding universe theory. The scientists that came after Edwin Hubble discovered that there is such a thing called as microwave radiation background. Let me not explain this. I'm not a scientist again, I say. The conclusion is simple. This microwave radiation background proves that the universe was once very, very, very hot. Far hotter than the state that we are in now. So the conclusion is, the universe was not like this before. So it was not in a steady state. It went through changes. So Fred Hoyle actually admitted that I will have to believe in the steady state if this theory has not been discovered. But since the background microwave radiation has been discovered, my theory of the steady state is not able to explain it. The best explanation for this is the Big Bang theory. This is what Fred Hoyle said. So we can say is a knockout. Edwin Hubble's theory gained dominance. But of course today some people still want to contend the steady state is, they want to say that this is khilaf. There's khilaf in everything, khilaf in fiqh. Even in science there's khilaf, of course. But look at the facts. Scientists can just come and say, there's another theory. Okay, there are tens and thousands of theories. But are you telling me that all these theories are in the same level? Just because the ulama differs in certain things, that means all of their difference of opinions are in the same level? Darwin differed with Lamarck. Random mutation, or whether the acquired traits can be passed down. They differ in this. Does that mean both of their arguments or both of their positions are equally valid? If you say that, then you are not scientific. What scientists do is to prove which theory is more correct. So when we speak about the Big Bang and steady state, I invite all of you. Let us check on this. Let us study this matter. I do not have much background of science, but I feel that it is an obligation to know. Because if they claim to prove that there's no beginning to this universe, then how will you believe in your Quran? How will you believe in what you believe in? When people question us, when people criticize, say, let's check, put on the table. Don't ignore it. Only sissies ignore this. Only coward people, only chickens do that. And Muslims today are chicken. We chicken out every time. No, don't speak about evolution theory. No, your aqidah will be shaken. It is precisely because of this, the aqidah of the young people are shaken today. Don't do this. Especially when your children or your teenage children ask you these questions. If you do not know, say you do not know. Let me ask those people who know. Don't say don't ask. There's only a certain time in Islam that you are allowed to speak like that. Don't ask. Don't ask doesn't mean don't ask. Don't ask now. If the question is sincere, there's always room for question. But how you ask the question, why you ask the question, when you ask the question, that is very important. You wouldn't let a 2-year-old to ask about what is quantum physics, right? Imagine your child just open a book, 2-year-old start, how can even pronounce quantum physics? Okay lah, let's be more realistic. 3-year-old, don't be 4-year-old. What is quantum physics? You say, I will explain to you later, but let's learn mathematics first, right? Let's learn 1 plus 1 first. Let's learn arithmetic first. Because if you were to start with quantum physics, you may confuse this child. You may, not necessarily. Because some children are geniuses, They can grasp. What you think they cannot grasp, they can grasp. So you have to assess the situation. But to me, I have this personal allergic when I hear people say, don't ask questions. When I see parents do this to their children. This is not how the ulama have taught. This is not how Rasulullah SAW have taught the Sahaba. The Sahaba were free to ask questions. There's so many questions they asked Rasulullah SAW. They asked him about qadar, they asked him about shaitan, they asked him about qiyamah, they asked him about Dajjal, they asked him about personal matters. Rarely we find Rasulullah SAW say, don't ask. There's only one that I know. Rasulullah said, do not ask about something that if you are told, it will burden you, it will add to your obligation. That part Rasulullah do not like. If Allah has not made something obligatory, don't ask it. Don't ask for it. Don't say why Allah have not made it haram, wajib, for example. Rasulullah do not like such questions. Allah have not made it wajib, Allah have not made it haram, don't ask. Unless the situation comes into you and confronts you face to face. Then you ask. Einstein believed in the steady state theory initially. But after they discovered the microwave radiation background, Einstein himself discarded this. Say, steady state, I cannot believe in it anymore. The universe must have a beginning. So the strongest of the scientific findings is that the universe has a beginning. Let us accept the fact. Let us take for argument's sake that the universe has always been here. It has no beginning. What is the problem with that, Ustaz? What if there is supporting argument saying that steady state theory is true and the universe has been here? You have to write down this, what they call as the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics. What is the second law of thermodynamics? Very simply put, second law of thermodynamics says that everything will go to a state of equilibrium. A simple example that they give, when you pour hot water and cold water in your bathtub, the hot water and the cold water will come to a state of equilibrium. You will not find the cold water stay one corner and the hot water stay one corner. It will go to the state of equilibrium. So the whole universe is going to that state of equilibrium. Heat will lose its heat will vanish slowly and will come to what we call as the loss of heat. This is what scientists say. This is what will happen to the universe. It will come to the state of equilibrium. Heat is constantly lost. So the question is, if the universe has always been here since time immemorial, why is the universe still here with us today now? It must have expired long before. Because when you say there is no beginning, that means it has begin from eternity. Betul tak? Dia tak ada permulaan. Bila tak ada permulaan, macam mana universe boleh ada sampai hari ini? The sun would have perished billions and billions and billions and billions of years ago. The whole universe will have collapsed. The big crunch will have happened. After the big bang, the big crunch. Why are the universe still here? This is a very strong argument, if you understand. I believe many of you understood. Let me put it in Malay, very simple language, so I can structure my thought also. Kalau alam ni ada tanpa permulaan, dan the second law of thermodynamics itu benar, di mana setiap perkara akan, setiap satu dalam alam ini akan menuju kepada satu tahap dipanggil equilibrium, seimbangan. Panas akan hilang kepanasannya. Energy will be lost. And why are we still here? Macam mana universe ni masih boleh ada dengan kita? Macam mana alam ni masih boleh kekal dengan kita? Kenapa dia tak hilang ribu, juta tahun dulu? Imagine kalau cawan ni dah ada tanpa permulaan. Imagine. Can it still stay with us now? Would have perished long before. So the question is, why is it still here? That means it is a strong proof that the universe has a beginning. It must have a beginning. So the Kalam cosmological argument is not only philosophy or logic. It is supported by modern science. Let me repeat the Kalam cosmological argument again. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. Therefore, and the universe begins to exist. Therefore, the universe must have a cause.